Hello, this is Jim at the Metal Sculpture Studios LLC in Hamilton, Ohio. Today we have a project for a local company, Challenge Targets, located in Fort Thomas, Kentucky. They produce and manufacture innovative and affordable shooting targets for the military, gun ranges, law enforcement, private ranges, you name it. They have a lot of innovative products, a lot of cool, affordable shooting target scenarios, you name it. But what we're going to do today is make another version of their target stand posts. Now this example here is a little bit smaller than what I'm going to make today. This is a 2-inch disc welded onto this 1/2-inch rod. As you can see, the welds on this example are pretty rough. I imagine that's why they came to us, to get a little bit better welding on their products. So what I'm going to do is take this 45-inch rod, these are the new lengths of this particular stand, and grind a blunt end on the one end, and the other end is going to get welded to a disc. And I'm going to use a welding positioner to weld these on, so we'll get some really nice welds. Alright, so what I have here is all our 1/2-inch rods cut down to 45 inches long. And what I'm going to do to get this nice blunt end on the end of these rods is set up the combination square head with the 45 facing a 1-inch belt sander, and that way all these bevels will be nice and consistent. So set them up, pop them in a drill like so, and on the belt sander get a nice even bevel on all these. These are averaging about a minute to get this bevel on here. What I'm trying to get is a third of the bar's width to a blunt end. Nice consistent bevel. What I'm ending up now. I'm just going to go possibly a little bit more on this one. Popping them up in a drill, chucking them up in a drill makes it a lot easier rather than turning 115 of these with your hand on a belt sander. So drill is the trick I like to use, and this is what we ended up with. The 1/2-inch bar, we got the cut end here, nice 45 bevel on this end, which I will weld to the 2-inch disc that I showed you earlier. Alright, so what I've got here is a little fixture I made up with some extra pieces from the shop, just some angle iron, so I can put this 2-inch disc in here, push it to the back, grab me one of these rods that we beveled earlier, pop it right against there, the back of that, and that's going to keep this rod centered on that 2-inch disc. And what I'll do is I'll stomp tack these with a TIG. That way, real nice fusion tacks. That way we can run a nice MIG weld on these so they look real nice and uniform. I'm sure you guys know, when you get those big MIG tacks going on something as small as, a 1/2-inch rod and a 2-inch disc, it just gets all ratty looking. You want some nice small TIG tacks on there, and then makes for a nice job. So this is putting on the stomp tacks here. Just makes it so much easier. Just pop that disc underneath there on behind my angle. Hold that rod against the vertical angle. Give it a good stomp tack. Kind of rotate it roughly 180 or whatnot. Pop it back in there. Get another tack on it, and usually you want to get about 3 tacks around something that's round. That usually holds it from swaying each way while you're welding it. So on to the next. Alrighty, now that we've got all of our parts tacked up, I got this put in my little weld positioner. That way we can get a nice MIG weld on it. I like using spatter spray on a lot of the MIG projects, just 'cause you just can't avoid all of it sometimes for all the things you do. But you want to, run some, get you some practice pieces, and you could set your machine pretty decent for 1/2 inch thickness on steel. But I've been using this Welding lately. I really like this stuff. It's pretty cheap on Amazon. You know, anything anymore, going to a weld supply store, they want $80 for something that's $12 on Amazon. It's just ridiculous. So I just go with this stuff and keep it in my cart when I need it. That, and along with some Dykem that I use. I like using the Dykem a lot. Let's see here. Yeah, I've been ordering this Toolmaker's blue layout ink. It's pretty reasonable too online, so I'll get this machine set and MIG weld some of these. And I've MIG welded them up, and they look pretty nice. Did a nice job with a row tab and setting your machine right. It's a nice looking weld.